What's good, y'all? It's Adam Ali from the Everyday Hustle. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Hit the red button to subscribe. I started this new series on this channel, and I don't know what to call this series. It's pretty much me dissecting various topics. Maybe at the end of the video, give me an idea of what I should call this new series on this channel. So recently I've seen this very interesting thread going on social media where men were sharing things that they wish women knew about them. And after reading some of them, they were very interesting, and I wanted to share it with you guys and give some additional thoughts around each of these points. So without further ado, let's get right into today's video of 10 things men wish women knew about them. We aren't great with hints. Communication is king. I like that. I think there's truth and merit to it, but if I can be honest, a lot of the times, us men are actually playing mind games with you, whether that's consciously or subconsciously. What I mean by that is, we may know that something's irritating you. A lot of us have this sort of sense of when something is off. But the issue here is we don't want to partake in guessing or creating an atmosphere for drama. So we're going to pretend like we're not seeing, these hints that you might be displaying. So essentially, we're going to do whatever it takes to not have this conversation with you. We want to know, we want to see if you're really going to start this conversation. Because if we start it, you're just going to hammer us. And if we know we're about to get hammered, or we know that something is we're going to get some sort of blame, we're going to do whatever it takes to avoid seeing the hints, even though we know it's there. But we're going to play these stupid games to avoid drama by any means. That's just my additional point to that. So it's probably in your best interest to address whatever is bothering you, so that way it's on the table. We can't maneuver or beat around the bush. So we will have to deal with you and have that conversation. But if you're leaving it up to us with hints and not being direct, we're gonna avoid the drama because we want peace. Be sure to leave your comments below as I'm making my remarks to these points that men have left on this thread. Anyhow, let's move on to the next one. Just because I'm not talking doesn't mean I'm not enjoying my time with you. I agree. I do agree that communication is key. Sometimes we enjoy just being with you, and the peace and being still with you is we're just enjoying that as well. We don't necessarily need to have this in-depth conversation. Although in-depth conversation are great, but sometimes just being still, enjoying that stillness with you, doesn't mean we're not enjoying our time with you. We actually really want to be complimented too. A 60-year-old woman complimented me 5 years ago, and it still makes me feel good, which shows how little we get compliments. This really depends. For me, I actually get, I don't want to say annoyed, but I prefer not to get complimented. Just because I kind of already know if I put the effort, I'm pretty confident in myself. So when someone compliments me, it almost, it naturally it makes me shy. And when I'm shy, that means I'm vulnerable and I don't really like it. So it really depends. What I do think is more important to me is being acknowledged for my efforts, not in my personal efforts of trying to look good. If I plan something out for us to do, I would prefer being acknowledged about planning this night out with you versus, being complimented for my shoes or my hair or, my looks or something. It really depends. For me, it's not, because it makes me vulnerable, it makes me shy, and I don't like those feelings, so really depends. All right, moving on to the next one. It's hard to get over you after a breakup. We don't really have emotional support systems in place to rely on, and a lot of men have small social circles, so losing someone means a lot to us. I can see this being a real, I guess, issue amongst many men. You know, us men, our way of dealing with breakups, you know, tends to be things like man up, there's plenty of fishes, you know, these type of things. So these type of sayings, these type of phrases are not, in my opinion, the best way in dealing with the relationship, you know, dealing with a breakup. Dealing with the breakup, it requires to have some emotional intelligence, for sure. And if you don't have that, then you're going to likely just do a band-aid approach to the situation, which will eventually only come to haunt you down the pipeline. So I totally see this as an issue amongst many men. When we tell women that we don't know how we feel about something, it's usually true, and we genuinely do not understand how we are supposed to feel. I personally wasn't allowed to express emotions growing up, and it turned me into not being able to understand my emotion. Again, it goes back to not having emotional support systems, social circles, you know, just us naturally just being more active and moving on, not dealing with situations, so we don't really internalize emotions and know how to cope and deal with things. All I could say is bear with us. What's that song by Music Soul Child? Teach me how to love you. Teach me how to love you, something like that. But yeah, I could see this certainly being a problematic issue amongst men, not knowing how to deal with our emotions when it comes to being able to express intelligently in a relationship. So I agree. We go through experience. A lot of men eventually know how to. All I could say is bear with those type of men. I don't know. I agree. I could see this being an issue. Let's move on to the next. I really like to hang out with my friends because I love them, not because I don't want to spend time with you. That's certainly accurate. It's not you. We just appreciate and value brotherhood. You know, I think the brotherhood bond, you know, when it's healthy and it's authentic, is extremely powerful. There's just that genuine, I'll do anything for this type of person. And you actually, you know, you really care about your brothers. Yeah, I think the brotherhood bond is so powerful because, for the most part, I could be wrong, I have seen women who see the value in brotherhood and be amongst that and just want and love it and want to be a part of it. But I personally have never seen, again, I could be wrong, a straight man who hangs around, you know, a bunch of women. You know what I'm saying? Off of their sisterhood. I just have not seen it. I'm talking about a straight man here, and this could be controversial. Let it be. I don't care. It is what it is. I've never heard, you know, a straight man just hanging around, you know, other sisters and girls and stuff like that for fun. Or I mean, for just because. Comment below, let me know. All right, let's move on to the next one. It's okay to make the first move. Guys can be shy too. Come talk to me instead of staring at me. Yes and no. What I will say that, you know, I sense that there is a lot more qualified women in the dating space versus qualified, you know, high quality men out there. So if you feel you know, have a lot of value, you know, I would say go out there, because us men, we have a lot of, you know, choices out there. And you know, I would say go for it. You know, that's just my opinion. You know, in society, man usually makes the move, but I just feel like maybe it's okay, you know, if you want to take a step forward, because you're going against mathematics here, where there's just a lot less, you know, qualified men out there, and we have more choice in the pool. My 2 cents. Ladies, what do you think? It's probably best that you practice that or build the confidence to do that, because, you know, let's say you are pretty, you are getting attention, but it might be lame attention. You know, you're getting attention from, again, the, you know, 4 out of 5 men are, let's say, not qualified, and you're getting the 4 out of the 5 men, or the 3 out of the 5 men who are not qualified giving you attention, and you're loving that attention, but it really doesn't translate to anything but drama and just nonsense. So you can filter that immediately by going after, not going after, but at least meeting them halfway. I feel like, you know, all this chasing and playing games, it's not wise anymore during these times. I get it before, maybe back in the days, but comment below, ladies. Let me know what you think, fellas. That's just my 2 cents. Move on to the next one. We like random gifts, random hugs, and random signs of affection and love. Sometimes just a cup of coffee in my favorite mug is enough to convince me it's going to be a good day. I agree. I think random gestures is cool. I think what's even better is, you know, being aware of what your man likes, or staying two steps ahead of the game by knowing, you know, what he may need attention on, and being able to support him in that. So I agree. You know, if you know, for example, he's about to spend an hour of painting a specific room, maybe just randomly coming in, bringing him water or something like that, or asking if he's good. So I agree. All right, my last one here. Men love being the target of a romantic gesture. Many men never have been. I guess this is how this person feels. I think everybody wants to feel good, and if, you know, as long as we remember that, and we don't have entitlement or have these pre-notions of what things should be, you know, jazzing things up and spite, you know, is essential. Having fun and trying, you know, new things could work for you. Some people love, you know, also just consistency and routine. Everything's subjective, in my opinion, but nonetheless, comment below. Let me know, ladies, did you learn something? Did you have a light bulb moment? I thought this was very interesting, and I just wanted to share this thread about what men wish women knew, and provide some additional context on each of the points that I mentioned. Comment below also on what you think I should call this series. I'm also going to continue uploading my other style type of videos. Yeah, comment, like, and subscribe. DM me for topics and ideas that I should talk about in an upcoming video. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.